Join me in Assetto Corsa for replay of round 9 of the 1967 Formula 1 Grand Prix Championship for the Italian Grand Prix being held at the Temple of Speed, Monza. The actual race was held on the 10th of September 1967. The 68-lap race was won by British driver John Surtees driving a Honda. It was the sixth and final career victory for Surtees, as well as the first ever race for the Honda RA300, which he drove to victory. This was also the first Formula 1 race where start lights were used. This race was considered, however, one of Jim Clark's greatest performances in Formula 1. He led the race until lap 12 when he picked up a puncture and lost an entire lap. He then spent the next 48 laps recovering through the field, taking lead on lap 60 and was pulling away. But on the final lap, a lack of fuel in Clark's Lotus 49 allowed Jack Brabham and John Surtees to pass the Scotsman and finish first and second, with Surtees ahead by less than a car length at the line. This was the second victory for the Honda F1 team and also the last victory for the factory team until Jenson Button won the 2006 Hungarian Grand Prix. Ins for this race was John Surtees driving the Honda RA300, Giacomo Carey Balgetti driving a Lotus Ford, Guy Ligier driving a Repco Brabham, and Ludo Scarafiotti driving an Eagle Westlake. Outs were David Hobbs, Al Pearce, Mike Fisher, Epi Verts and Tom Jones. Pedro Rodriguez was also a non-starter. Jackie X was driving his Cooper Maserati. I hope you enjoy the race.
Okay, welcome to round 9 of 1967 Formula 1 Grand Prix Championship for the Italian Grand Prix held at the Temple of Speed, Monza. So let's load a setup and go do some laps because I've only got 10 minutes of practice, so try and pick a setup that's roughly worked in the past. I might go with Spa 66 and just check that. That's got longer gears in it. What top speed? 327. Not sure if we'll reach that. Everything else seems pretty good, so I might just drop that top gear. 318, yeah, let's see what we can do. Anyway, we'll exit the pits. Coming into the pits straight away. Who's in front of us? Jack Brabham. Into the curve to green. And coming down to the Lesmos. I'll hold it in third gear through here, through Lesmo 1. Lesmo 2. And up to Ascari. I think I've got 60 odd litres in the car, so it's pretty heavy. Coming up to Parabolica. Oh, that's a bit too deep there. Let's just check the gearing. I have got damage on, so if you hold it in the red too long, it will damage the motor. Coming down towards the Lesmos again, brake around the board. soon took sideways there. Break about the Pepsi Cola sign. So it's a 1:30.7, but I've done 1:28, so a bit off the pace. Too much curve there. Still got Jack ahead of us, so into a scouring. Not quite flat. That was way too deep. Straight now, coming up to Grand Curve, curve they look around in Italian. So I'm backing into that corner there. We've got Joseph Beat in front of us there. Can't get the listeners right. Definitely going to have to be in the 29s, 28s at least. Yeah, wow. Can't put this car up. get ready for qualifying. You don't get penalised if you come in, it slows you down. Not that we've got any pit stops in the race. Okay, head back to the pits. One day I might map a return to pits button. Oh, we've got to get the mouse in there. Yep, okay, now back to the pits. Might lengthen that because I was in the red a lot of the time there. So Monza save. Now take some fuel out. Got 24 laps in there. 17 lap race. I think that's just clicked over to qualifying, which it has. We've got 10 minutes left, so let's go do some laps. Hopefully that length of the gear hasn't hurt too much, but coming down to Lesmos. Okay, into the scarring. That's wrong. Go back to the pits because it's lengthening the gear has changed the other gears. Let's go with what I got. Now I'm in some traffic. Who we've got ahead of us? Jim Clark. Jim Clark and Graham Hill will be fast in the race, so their mods are really quick round here. In the Eagle Westlake, I've done a 1:28.1, so but this car's not quite the Eagle Westlake. Got Jochen Rints ahead of us in the Cooper Maserati. Down to get some rotation there. Didn't want to turn. He'll get a nice toe off me and he's probably going to dive up the inside. Down for Lesmos, get these couple of corners right. Jackie X ahead of us. He's in the Cooper, number 32. So much wheel spin coming out of there. Coming up to Parabolica here. Go the exit out of Parabolica, so hopefully carrying a little bit of momentum down the straightaway. Got to get the brand right. Wish that felt okay then. Where's my two? Correct, and I haven't. I was up. Not now. Get Wesmo's right, that's losing my time. God, lost again there. Oh, come on, wrong button. Wow, that's just not working. Fuel, take some fuel back out. Oh, I've got to get back to the finish line. I don't really know how I can get back to the finish line. Yelty behind me. Joined the Formula One crew in Italian for the Monza race. It's his first race, as I understand it, but I'm not sure. Seconds, not going to make it back to the finish line. Cardinals we're in overtime, so that's my qualifying done. Let's go back to pits. Okay, wow. I can't get into the 20 points with this car. Definitely done it in the Lotus and definitely done it in the Eagle. Oh wow, that's hot. Good. A lot of work. I'll be sweating by the end of this race. We've got Dan Gurney in the Eagle. He's 1.6 slower than Clark, but they're the Kunos mods, the Clark and Hill, so they're pretty quick. They'll race pace will be 129, so yeah. Bit of work to do. Well, let's top the fuel up. Okay, here we go. 17 laps of this wonderful track. They have a tendency to run wide into the first corner on their opening laps, and then they don't tend to make mistakes after that. Jim Clark's leading. I've got Graham Hill behind me, which was can hear his car though. Into a Ascari. And he's still behind me. Into the parabolic car for the first time. Okay, that's the end of the first lap, just about. And here comes the Lotus of Graham Hill. So much quicker in a straight line in this car. It's been bashed around a bit. I was going to let him go because he will just take me out otherwise. Ooh, I've taken him out. Oh well. Coming my way. They not need to go down to second there. Just sitting and do a few laps here. I'm pretty sure Jim's got this race sewn up unless something happens. Their top speed is just so much better than this McLaren mod. It's very sideways on throttle, this car. Seconds adrift. Down for Westmos. Jim's run over the grass on the exit of the Scary. I'll try and change like 6 gears. Onto the pit straight again. Gap's now 3. So yeah, he's circulating in the 29s, I think. Down to the Westmos again, they come around pretty quick. And then into Scary. Across the grass. Oh, that's not how you do it. Went down into second a little bit too early there and locked up the rear. Now seconds. Sitting Lesmo 2. Under the banking of turn 1 on the full course. Oh my god. Got all that wrong. And here we go. In the parabolic again. Can't put a lap together. Well, that was a 131.2, that's very slow. But I did make a lot of mistakes. Down with the Lesmos again, see if we can get these two quarters right. Slightly up. Now I need to get a Scari right, because this is the corner that I've been messing up mostly everywhere. That's my quickest lap so far, 130.4. I'm still 6 seconds adrift of Jim. Through curve over the Grand, it's challenging corner. Into the Lesmos again. Ran wide a bit there. The wall is definitely not the fastest route. Keep trying to change up in the 6th gear. Looks like I definitely got a Scari right. There was purple. And there's microsectors, so. So much time can be lost in the Lesmos though. Scary ride again, that would be really nice. Not too long. Still see Jim, but he's so far down there now. Spinning up. 8 seconds, 9 seconds now, 7 seconds. Okay, see if we can get a scurry ride again. Okay, 7 laps to go. One goal in this race for me is to break a 130. I know I can do it. Need to hook all the corners up. Easier said than done. Come on, pick up. Happy day to 129.9. Finally breaking 130. I thought I could. In and out of Lesmos again. Hopefully get another 29. Because it would be nice to get 2. bumper there. Close, but no cigar. Jim's still 7 seconds ahead of me, so I just realised I'm only running it at 100%. When I did the 128s, was running at 108%. So yeah. So yeah, that probably got something to do with it as well. Another 130.0. Well, at least I'm consistent. 8 seconds behind them, so yeah. Gary, get this corner on. Need to nail it. Can still see Jim though. This time's 130.1. Parabolica correct. Guess what? I've got Graham Hill on my tail. Wasn't watching the gap behind. There it goes. Oh, don't tell me we're going to come together again up here. Wow. Miraculous recovery from wherever he ended up after I punted him. Okay. Well, there goes second spot. How many laps to go? 2 laps to go. Scary, right? Oh no, too much grass. Chasing the 129. Well, that was a bit of a party. Okay, Jim started his last lap, so how far am I ahead of? 4th position. Yeah. 23 seconds, so probably 10 seconds behind me now. 138. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. My tyres must be gone. No, they're still greens, but oh my. It's the first time it's done that going into there. It's got really taily all of a sudden. Wow, Matt backing into every corner. Eyesight's not good to read the tyre temperatures, but they look green, but it's not handling like they're green. one corner to go, so and I think the next race we got USA at Watkins Glen with the final round at Mexico City. And Mexico's, I like that track, but yeah, challenging to get right. Okay, there, what race is over, third position. Okay, well, ended up a fair way behind Graham in the end, and a long 26 seconds behind Jim. But anyway, and then the other Lotus 49 of Bagelti came in fourth spot. Anyway, that's a lot of fun, that track. It really is a nice track. I did crack a 130, and I haven't got, I could turn the engine up to 108, but it wouldn't last because I got damage on. So yeah, I must put on the take the damage off and then see what sort of lap time I can do in it, just for a bit of fun. In summing up, the Lotus 49s are just too quick in a straight line and proved hard to catch, let alone pass. So Jim and Graham finished a comfortable 1-2 in the race. I was disappointed that it took such a long time to crack into the 129s with my best lap of only a 129.8. The Lotus's best time was a 129.1. Anyway, to the championship, my lead over Jim Clark has been reduced to only 8 points, and Graham Hill is still in third position. I turned off damage and turned the engine up to 108 to see if I could get anywhere near Jim Clark's pole lap of a 128.5. So enjoy the few laps that I recorded as I try and chase that time. Again, thanks for watching, and see you in a week's time for round 10 at Watkins Glen. I need a good race to keep Jim behind. See you then. Well, I'm just taking damage off and gonna redo the settings so that I can up the motor to see if I can get into those breaker 129. I'm not sure whether I can or not. I've got 15 litres of fuel in there, generic 102, yeah, so let's whack that up to 108 and see what happens now. So yeah, we're starting, I'm on hot lap, so coming into parabolic be interesting to see if it makes a difference. I was pulling 290 something on the straight here at 100. Okay, this is the out lap, so, oh no, this is a lap will count, but it's, yeah. So I've got no idea of my delta because I've used my out lap, so. So I have no idea where this is going to land straight out. A 130, I guess. A 129.7 straight off. Well, miles behind where I should be, the ghost car there. Wondering if changing the gears, I'm only pulling close to 300 there, so maybe shorten the gears up a bit so I get better acceleration. .129.0 that time. Let's go back to the pits and play with the gear ratio, just see if that makes a difference. But yeah, 129.0, so yeah, there you go. That makes a getting close to the 128s. So let's go back to the pits and just have a quack. It's still a nice time. Oh, look, yeah, got the gear ratios all wrong. Let's have another crack and see if that makes a difference. I had top speed at 346, so... Wow. That's allowed happen, huh? See if I'm peeking out in top gear. That made a difference. I messed Lesmo's up. Okay. Here we go. We're green on the straight, so that goes well. Just got to get through all the corners correctly. Not hard. Well, there you go. It's a 128.6, so you get an achievement if in the Lotus for a 128.5. But yeah, so I did have the gear ratios incorrect, but if you rev it too much, when the damage is on, you blow your motor. So yeah, but anyway, happy with that. 128.6. So yeah, I said I've been quicker in the Eagle. Yeah, so I'll go back and park it, and yeah, so yeah, definitely could have gone faster in the race if it had the motor turned up, but of course it didn't. But yeah, still happy in the race, cracking the one, getting into the 29, so yeah, very happy. Oh, that corner is just tricky. You feel like you can take it flat, but you just got to have a slight lift. And go back to the pits. Yeah, the 128.5 was Jim Clark's pole position in 1967, so yeah. We can only do it with the engines turned up, so, well, I can anyway. Anyway, I'll see you next time.